Hey there, welcome to Rise Up with Janeena Chan. I'm Janeena, host and content creator, always curious to learn more from life. This podcast is one for the mind, heart, body, and soul as we share stories from real lives that draw inspiration, provide strength, and empower each other to rise up. And I realized after that, okay, if politics is a game that leaders play, I need to learn the rules so that one day the people can win.
As soon as your body adapts, as soon as your body builds a system of habits, it'll get much easier. And the days where you don't feel like doing it, it actually becomes automatic. That's one thing that I've learned.
Hi there, I'm Mish, host of Mishconceptions, the podcast that talks about the common struggles of modern day millennials and Gen Zs as we all navigate through college, enter the real world, and build our careers.
Really something that we have to face. And I think that's where growth comes from.
Yes.
If you start, because you start to question yourself and then you start to know yourself more. Diba?
Don't forget to give time for yourself. Kasi that's really the most important thing that you as a person have to.
Ito, I know it's easier said than done, but kailangan natin matutunan how to protect our rest and recovery practices intensely.
Welcome to Daddy Academy, the DIY podcast for dads. This podcast is for longtime dads, working dads, soon-to-be dads, and all the kind of dads who are just eager to hear about each other's stories, learn from each other, and relate to one another.
I think the most memorable struggle that I had was marrying my wife because not the way you think.
Kompletuhin mo yung sentence niya kasi
Yes.
So I was literally teacher, nanny, entertainer, everything you can think of, everything basically what a mom does. Diba? I was mom.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Mary Grace Gu from the premier Chinese-Filipino lifestyle show, Chinoy TV, 废话电视台. And you are now watching The Power of Our Voice, making a choice on the road less traveled, a webinar series where we explore different ways to use our voices in the traditional and non-traditional media and the opportunities it's presented to Chinoys in hosting, presented by Chinoy Podcast Network and Chinoy TV in partnership with NB Team, Geneto PH, Fruit in Bloom, Alliance of Filipino Chinese Students, Ateneo Celadon, De La Salle University Management of Financial Institutions Association, Roto Club of Chinatown, Manila, St. Jude Catholic School Student Council, University of Santo Tomas Scarlett Central, and University of Santo Tomas Scarlett Accountancy. Well, how's everybody doing? We're so happy that you have this time and you have taken this time out of your busy schedule to join us this afternoon. You know what? This webinar series will take place in 3 parts or episodes. And after today, there will be another one coming up on September 17, that is next week, and September 24 later this month, talking about podcasting, voiceover, radio, and social media channels, just like TikTok and YouTube, each with its own set of speakers. But for today, we will be talking about media, TV, and events. So to tell us what specifically inspired this entire project, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome Miss Michelle Tan.
Thank you so much, MG. Thank you for that introduction. And thank you for everyone who attended this webinar. And I hope you will be attending the next few webinars in the next few weeks. So I just want to give you, a brief background of what we're here for today. All about New Voice, basically. So you might be wondering, what is this about? Why New Voice? And basically what we want to do through this webinar is to amplify our voice in different platforms. That's why we've split this in different webinars over the next few weeks so that you can have the chance to attend each and, have the sense of, is TV for me, is podcasting for me, or is TikTok or YouTube for me? So like what MG said, I'm Mish Tan. I manage the Chinoy Podcast Network with Chinoy TV, and I am also a podcaster myself. So let me jump right into it. So just to give you a brief background, Chinoy TV has launched One Chinoy, hashtag One Chinoy, to focus more on its oneness. And if you've been following Chinoy TV for quite a while, you've seen a lot of the changes that has been done over the past few months. And we've incorporated this in every single post and every single events that we've been doing. So what is this One Chinoy about? And how does it connect to our new voice? So first, we want to focus on the modern Chinoy. When we talk about modern Chinoy, we want you to think about those times where you embrace the tradition while you still adapt to the modern times. A lot has changed ever since, for the times that our grandparents migrated here, and for us to be able to adapt to those traditions, and for us to start looking at the breaking the stereotypes really says a lot about how we are as a modern Chinoy. We also want to use this opportunity to combat misconceptions and educate people, what Chinoy really is, the Chinese Filipino, the fusion and the oneness of two cultures. You'd see that more, and I guess in our TV, if you haven't seen it, Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. And the third aspect to it about this whole campaign is really to have this platform where stories can be heard. And this is not just one platform, but platforms through Chinoy TV, through not even outside of it, for us to, try to challenge the stereotype into the usual career that we go into. And that's why we want to call this webinar a road less traveled, right? Making that choice. If you've been following Chinoy TV, you've seen there's new face, which we launched on the website a few months back. We do have New Perspective, which is the TV show that we've aired in CNN. And now we are focusing on New Voice, not just the podcast, but basically on the voice itself. So just moving on, how important is our voice, right? So we always, it's just there. Like, we were born with it. We don't really, see much from it, or, it's just there. It's just really with us. And sometimes we do not notice it, or we take it for granted. So I would like to think that our voice is a superpower for us. So our voice is something, that we could use as a tool for us to stand up what is right, rather than what is easy. It's a voice to give us opinion on our platform, and it gives us with the opportunity to have that perspective or knowledge on things that matter. It's not, it is what has allowed people to, I guess, protest for justice, sing for freedom, or speak about the truth. A voice could be a source of hope for us. So among other things, it is, it helps us to stand up for what is right. We use that to challenge certain beliefs that we grew up to believing. And other things would be, one thing I love about our voice, it allows us to convey our feelings. It depends on how we project it, whether it's loud, it's soft. And then from the voice itself, you could actually hear immediately if someone's angry, someone's scared, someone's excited. A lot to do with the voice, just about our voice. It, again, I mentioned about, voice gives our opinion a platform, and no two voices are alike. So I did talk about, we take it for granted sometimes, and but voices could be used to create change. And people can take anything away from you, but your voice is one of the things that cannot be taken away. We open our mouths and our language just flow forth. When we use wisely and appropriately, the voice can be one of the most powerful instruments in our human body. Our voice is much more than that. Like what I said, we can use it for freedom, protest, to sing, to speak of the truth, to communicate with other people, to encourage and provide support, and lastly, hopefully, to provide hope. So everyone's voice matters. And one thing I want to throw back is, where else can we use our voice? And this is where we want to focus more in this webinar. Definitely, we can use it as a career. Like what I said, there's a lot of stereotypes growing up, especially in the Chinoy household, where you just focus on getting corporate job, or let's say being a professional. But the creatives is often, overlooked. Now we're seeing more and more, and really excited to support that growth and to see more of that growth in the future. You now see a lot of Chinoys in taking this on, whether as a passion project, a side hustle, a part-time job, or even a full-time career. So you see them in TV, podcasting, YouTube, TikTok, events, and even movies. That's why we wanted to break this into different parts for you to appreciate each of these segments and just to see if this is really for you. So with that, one thing that we also want to do to insert for this year would be Chinoy Podcast Network. We actually launched this last year, and when I said that our voice is a vessel for us, for our opinions to be heard, we also want to have a platform for your voice to be heard as well, right? So right now, we want to encourage Chinoys, who use their voice as a career, as an outlet, or as a source of passion, all in the dream to empowering Chinoys to share their voice. We currently have 3 different shows, which you can see in Chinoy.tv, our new website. And one thing we want to focus on is we want more. We want more people to join this movement to empower more people to share their voice. And this webinar, among other things, is one of our reasons why we also want you to consider this path, as something that you might want to venture into. A lot of the things that we experience in our lives, we don't really know that we wanted to unless we somehow experience it ourselves. So with that, I want you to be part of this new voice that we're talking about. And just a final note, our voices are meant to encourage other voices too. And this is why we are here today, to encourage your voices as well. We want you to unite. We want to unite with you and to support each other on this movement. Again, our voice is very powerful. We transmit our feelings, emotions, ideas, wishes, in fact, everything through this singular, amazing instrument. And with that, thank you and enjoy your panel session this afternoon as we talk about TV and media and events. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mish, for that wonderful sharing, or for basically starting our afternoon session. And yes, definitely that was spot on. And we are inviting everybody right here on our webinar, all the attendees, in any case, if you would love to be part of the new voice. Once again, thank you so much, Mish. And just to repeat and reiterate what Mish have said earlier today, we will be diving into the craft of finding our voices through various media. That's why for today's session, we have 4 of the country's most sought after hosting personalities who in just a few minutes will be sharing their stories and useful insights in navigating this highly digital age as professionals of hosting craft. And even I myself, I'm so excited about what's going to happen in this session. So first up, please allow me to introduce you our guest for today. First, a pambansang world coach, this radio and TV personality has helped thousands of Filipinos effectively manage their finances. And if you haven't read any of his 14 best-selling books with already over 1 million copies sold worldwide, now is the time to do so. So ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome our first speaker for today, Mr. Chinkee Tan.
Hi there, Mary Grace. Thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you very much for this event.
Hi, Sir Chinkee. Welcome. And I'm so excited to be discussing so much things about finances and things that you have done on TV in just a bit. Thank you. Next
Sure.
up, ladies and gentlemen, we have a no stranger to being in front of the camera. As a reporter for various networks, she is the host of a lifestyle magazine show on CNN Philippines and a podcaster on Chicas and Margaritas on Spotify. She also hosted the business profile show Modern Tauke TV on ANC. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Miss Valerie Tan.
Hello, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Hi, Mary Grace. Hi, Sir Chinkee. Hello, it's
Hi,
my
Valerie.
honor.
Oo. Pero
Hello.
magkamag-anak ba tayo?
Hindi, pareho lang na tan. Alam mo naman, maraming tan. But yes, good afternoon to all the participants and to my co-speakers. I'm so excited to interact and to engage with everyone. Thank you.
Hello, Ate Val. Nice to see you again. Long time no see, no? Catching up tayo mamaya, no? But here, Moving forward, another speaker that is joining us today, a content creator and an award-winning multi-platform host. She hosts for Chinoy TV on ANC, now on CNN, and the Rise Up with Janeena Chan podcast on Spotify, while also being a youth columnist for OneMega.com and a Bell's Palsy Awareness advocate. We've got Janeena Chan.
Hello! Hi, everyone! Hi! Hello to the Tan siblings. Ang daming Tan. And MG. Hi, MG. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Oh my gosh, how many people are there? 81. Wow, that's a lot. Hello, guys.
Yes.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, definitely. And all the attendees today are looking forward to all the sharings na makukuha nila from you guys. And even I myself, excited na ako. Pero hindi pa tayo tapos. Rounding out today's speakers is a multilingual host, singer, and event director, voice talent, and an actor as well, who made a name for himself in the events industry, particularly on activities concerning Chinoy families, celebrities, and corporate, plus government agencies. Glad to have you. Hello, Max Tiu.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oops.
Hi, Max. Parang may drama.
Hi, Grace. Hi,
Hello.
Janina. Hi, Val.
Hi.
Hi, Sir Chinkee. Hi,
Hi,
Grace.
Max. Nice
And
to
of
see
course,
you.
thank you
Nice
very
to meet
much to Chinoy TV for inviting me. It is truly an honor to be a part of this webinar.
That's right. Welcome. I'm so happy to be sharing this screen with you guys. So sabihin ko sana stage, pero walang stage. To be on the same screen with all of you. And we are going to talk about 3 different topics. Kaya naman simulan natin because I think we will be really sharing a lot of things. First topic will be beginnings and evolution. So to everybody watching, if you also have some questions for our speakers, feel free to also send in or your insights about what will they be sharing today. Maybe my first question is for Sir Chinkee Tan. You know, you have been doing motivational speaking and coaching on cam for many years. What pushed you to explore on this route as a finance expert? And most importantly, why TV? At isa pang tanong, no? Sabay-sabay ko na daw kasing itanong, Sir Chinkee. With the internet prevailing over TV now, how did you basically adjust or are you still adjusting up until the present?
Sige, pinaka-best yan siguro. Let's take it one by one. No? And then remind me lang the question. Number one, it all started when I was age 12. I was born and raised in Tondo from both Filipino-Chinese parents. 我的父母亲是从大陆来的. And up to this very day, I can still speak Mandarin and Fujian. Okay, so I'm really proud to be a Filipino-Chinese. And and then I went to actually 3 Chinese schools. Nag-campus tour ako from Chiang Kai-shek, Yongqing, and then went to Shangyi Zhongxie, that's Uno, and then got kicked out, and then went to Hope. Landed sa Hope Christian High School. Chanan, okay. And then after that, I can still remember when I was age 12, my father's business collapsed. And because of trying times, challenging times, and I can never forget whenever collectors will come to our house to collect money, and they will humiliate both of my parents in front of our neighbors. And it was really an embarrassing moment. And that's the reason why I took it upon myself that I want to achieve 2 things. Number one, I want to become a millionaire before I reach the age of 35. For 2 reasons. I do not want my children to experience what I've experienced when I was young. And second, I want to provide better lives for my parents when they retire. So, to cut the long story short, from age 12, I was in sales. And before I reached 35, at 20 plus, I hit my first million. And talking about transition, probably, when actually the other speaker, I think it was Michelle ba? Si Michelle was saying, yun nga, talking about several platforms. Actually, I started in the movies, 87 to 94. Especially for Max and Janina, probably, hindi nyo na ako inabutan sa Mary Grace. 87 to 94, I did movies. I was one of the Howie Boys of Randy Santiago. And after 94, I got out of movies. And that was the start of my... actually, I started my sales career at the age of 12. And went back to business in 94. And after that, I went into radio. That was, I think, in the year 2006. I think in 2006. with DZMM, and then from radio, I went into writing books, and from writing books, and then I became a speaker because of Francis Kong. He was the one who mentored me to do this. And to cut the long story short, right now, I have currently 3 radio and TV shows. Namely, everyday Monday to Friday, Magbudget Tayo with Tintin Babaw. And Saturday, Rocket Science, Kitang Kitang Kita. And every Sunday, that's Chink Positive. All for Radyo 5 and Signal Channel, Signal TV. And currently, if you're asking regarding sa social media naman,
Yes.
I actually never never really had a hard time because currently in social media at Facebook, I have around 3.8 million followers. At YouTube, around 1.7 million followers. TikTok, around 700,000 followers. So I started my social media way ahead of most people. So kaya nga medyo unique in a sense. Kaya nga nung kinikwento ni ni Michelle, from movies, TV, radio, podcast. I have also a podcast channel also.
Grabe lahat na, no?
Yeah, podcast channel also. And I'm so thankful that Spotify, I'm always, they granted me the opportunity to be on top 50 yung show na Chink Positive. So I'm really so thankful and grateful that God has shared and granted me this platform of yun nga sa lahat, Quad Media and Trimedia. Yun.
Well, it's very inspiring to know kasi maraming tao, they struggle to really be present in all these platforms. But seems like for your end, you have started in TV, eventually nakasabay, no? Even on TikTok. And basically, that's what we do. We adjust to the changing demands of our industry. Thank you so much for Chinkee. Later, marami pa tayong questions coming in. But maybe next one, I would love to ask Ate Val, in your case, as a TV reporter and eventually also a commercial model, how did you basically started doing this, especially on a big TV network like GMA?
Okay, medyo mahabang mahabang usapan. So basically, kasi binanggit na rin ni Sir Chinkee kung saan school siya. Kailangan ko rin yung school ko, St. Jude. Yan. St. Jude. So for those Judy nights out there, si Janeena, alam ko nag-St. Jude din siya for a bit, no? So, naalala ko lang, just want to share with you guys, when I was in high school, nag-talk si Tim Yap, kasi Tim Yap was in St. Jude, was alumnus of St. Jude then. So sinishare niya yung story niya about how he entered media. And at that time, I was like, wow, inspiring ah. Tapos parang ngayon, I get to share that story to other people who aspire to be in media. So it's very heartwarming for me. So anyway, so simula high school, I was really, I had the dream of being on TV, specifically for GMA, because my dream was to be part of the news and public affairs of GMA. So, ang dami kong ginawang auditions before I got in. I auditioned for, I actually had a TV show for Channel 4 before that. I also did theater for a bit, and I also did commercials. So I auditioned for so many commercials, siguro 6 months of going to auditions until I finally landed my first ever commercial. And then, finally, nagkaroon ng audition for a TV host for GMA. And I auditioned. It was a reality show. And then I won. That's how I got into GMA. Yun, I became a host for their news and public affairs.
Ayun, kumbaga parang naisip ko, it's more of when there's opportunity, you basically just grab it. Kasi kung hindi mo tinry mag-audition, then basically you won't kickstart that journey.
And tama ka, and also you have to be prepared. I mean, you can always go to auditions, but you have to be prepared. And I feel that all my auditions I went to before that one big audition prepared me for that final audition.
Oh, coming from that, no, I would say siguro sa mga ibang nanonood or nakikinig right now, they may feel na parang, hala, hindi ako nag-succeed sa isang audition ko and they don't want to push through anymore. So imagine that, kahit ako personally, with all the VTRs, ilang hundreds of VTRs yung a-attendan mo before you really land on a certain project na talagang met para sa iyo. So tayo, Ate Val. Here, there's a question lang over here. What is it like now doing more online shows and webinars than the traditional one that you're on-site doing reporting or really in person?
Yes, no, the times have really changed. And not sucking up to Sir Chinkee, but I really admire how he has evolved. Imagine like mahirap yun mahirap to sustain, mahirap to remain relevant for decades. And that's what Sir Chinkee...
Parang sandali lang ha. Bumusina ka muna ng konti.
Parang di mo alam kung insulto or compliment.
Oo,
That's really
decades
a compliment. It's really a compliment. Kasi mahirap kasi it's hard to penetrate, but it's harder to remain relevant.
Yeah,
and
to sustain.
To sustain, that's so hard. So that's for me, kung nag-iiba yung times na dati TV hosting, ngayon digital na, ngayon online, I embrace it. I embrace it and I grab all those opportunities kasi you know what, I have a lot of friends na into traditional media, nahihirapan sila to transition to
cross
new.
over.
Yes, because they hate the idea of parang it's not the real media, but actually it is still the real media. It's just the evolution of time. So I feel that we have to embrace it and to ride on it.
Alam mo, Valerie, sorry to lang. Ako, I always follow all of your sa TikTok.
Sorry, ang kulit ko sa TikTok.
And then especially when you talk about the blessed of being living as a single.
Yes,
you know what? I do actually agree with that, no. It's better to be single rather than to be married with the wrong person and stuck with the wrong person for the rest of your life. Believe me.
Ay, hindi ako single. Married ako mamaya magtaka yung mga tao. Married ako, but I do content also for 30s. For 30s, yeah.
Right. Yes. Oo nga. And Ate Val, totoo, ang kulit mo sa TikTok. I also find so much entertainment sa lahat ng sinishare mo. And nakakatuwa din sa TikTok, no? The algorithm is really different and then you won't really know what videos will hit those thousands and millions of views. Pero sige na nga. More chicas later on. Ito naman for Janeena. Naku naman, I know you have started at a very young age with all those modeling, singing competitions, and hosting, being on cam. At an early age, how was the experience starting the career as young as that? And in terms of maybe your equipment, resources, paano siya nag-evolve from time to time?
Okay, so actually it started out with my hobbies lang. You mentioned MG knows my history. I did start singing when I was in preschool. As in, from mga Chinese, English, Tagalog singing contest, ako yung pinapambato nila. Ganon. Bibo kid ako ever since. And I embraced that. And I was so grateful for both my teachers and my parents for accepting me and just allowing me to have fun. Because for me, it was more than just, I didn't even think it was a career. Para feeling ko naglalaro lang ako. The world was my playground. And then, okay, masaya naman. Pag may medal, happy sila. Bonus na lang yan. And then from the singing world, I also joined off-campus singing competitions. There was this opportunity to join the search for the next Disney singing princess. So imagine, there's this Chinita girl in like SM South Mall. Nag-South Mall pa kami kasi yun na lang daw yung open na branch. Taga-QC ako. My gosh. The commitment. So push pa rin kami. And my mom was like all out with my Little Mermaid costume. May pa kaming treasure chest and everything. And then you really don't know where life can take you. From there, there was an agent, parang industry people, and they were like, hey, do you want to try modeling? And then there was an opportunity to model for Barbie. Ang saya ng childhood ko, and I'm just so grateful for that. As in, every weekend, rumarampa ako with new toys, and like Barbie head to toe with like the blinking shoes and all. But then again, I really thought I was just having fun. For me, parang ano ba tong modeling? Rumarampa lang. I'm just having fun. And then from the modeling world, again, it's a connected industry. There was someone who referred or kind of invited me to try auditioning for a kids show. So it's called Kids TV on ABC5. And that was my very first entry into the hosting/media world. As a kid, you wouldn't really think of hosting as a career kasi parang ano ba yung nagsasalita ka sa TV, and then, well, at that age, parang hindi ko pa rin sure. But when I was there already, it was such a good format too. Super enjoy. It was a telemagazine show hosted by kids, for kids. We got to travel. We got to meet so many different people. The Bibo kid and the Daldalera in me enjoyed it so much then. So I'm just so grateful for that, and I embraced it. But I couldn't be a kid forever. So after that, there was an opportunity. My dad was just flipping through channels, and then he saw this search for junior journalists for Newswatch Junior Edition on RPN 9. And I was like, okay, parang medyo boring. Ako pa yung boring. Gusto ko travel. Pero I tried it out. But it's also, I'm sharing that because I want you guys to know the internal feeling as a kid back then too, that I wasn't sure also, but I still gave it a shot. So I went there and I'm so grateful also for that experience. We were trained intensively to do our reports, and hindi lang siya lifestyle reports, pero like meron pang mga serious topics also. And that ran for a few years until I was blessed to be given my very own segment in the main news program, Newswatch na. It's called Teen Watch. Diba? Parang Baywatch. Teen Watch. And then I was like there in my my teen outfits, and then just sharing whatever I wanted to, from sports to the latest, the latest restaurants. It was a lifestyle segment, super fun. And then eventually I couldn't be a teen forever. It transitioned into Spotlight on Newswatch on RPN. And I was with my RPN family for 5 years. Grabe. Parang more than a school year. Diba, 4 years in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it's just opportunity after another. It's a domino effect, honestly. I also dabbled into theater for a time in High School Musical on stage because I grew up as a gymnast. So I was casted as one of the cheerleaders, Wildcats cheerleaders. And it also expanded my world and my network also. And grabe, even that little experience, parang nagkaroon pa ng nanganganak yung mga experiences na yan eh. Because of that, the Enchanted Kingdom got us to play in EK, like for one summer and then one Christmas. Ang saya lang. And yeah, when I was in college naman, I studied at Ateneo. I got an opportunity to do courtside for Fox Sports. And I was really transparent with them na I'm more of like interviews and stuff. Pero in terms of like the sports angle, I gotta learn more. And they were very, very nice naman and accommodating. They trained me also. And then eventually I got the opportunity to host for ABS Sports in Action for Upfront at the UAAP until the station is no more. And then syempre Chinoy TV, diba? So I was with Upfront for 5 years. At ang nakakatuwa is that yung Kikay girl pa, yung tumagal doon. Parang umiba pa yung show's format. Parang yung show yung nag-adjust sa akin from being a hardcore sports show, stats and all that. Parang oh my gosh. Hanggang sa we were talking about outfits of the athletes and like their lives behind the scenes. And then of course Chinoy TV upon graduation, such a huge blessing to be one of their hosts also. And yeah, that's the shortcut na yan.
Wow, sarap naman ng childhood ni Janeena. Parang 'di ba Valerie, mapapasa na all ka.
Alam nyo, na-meet ko, first time ko na-meet si Janeena, so RPN 9 siya. Di ba, pinicture mo yung restaurant?
Yes.
Na nandun ako sa restaurant, so doon kami una nakita. Yes.
Ako naman, una kami nag-meet ni Janeena, singing competition. Yun. I'm not sure if it was in Moldex. I think it was in Moldex. Parang, basta, or there was a time parang may props ka pa noon na...
Lagi kaming may props. Para extra points yan, umeffort sila.
Costume!
Oo. Pero props lang. Actually, dito nakakabit eh. Right now. Baka magtaka kayo. O diba? Wala lang. Just cause like, it's too near kasi hindi na makikita face ko eh. Tsaka na yan.
But yes, grabe, Janeena, parang meron ka bang hindi kayang gawin? Parang grabe ha, ang galing. But of course,
possible if you set your mind to it, tsaka pray lang. Pero
totoo
hindi
yan.
naman lahat kailangan gawin. Basta masaya ka, di ba? And wag mong pilitin kapag hindi ka masaya. You know it's not for you.
Parang may hugot yun. But yes, here naman we have Max over here. I have Max, you have been involved in a lot of events. And of course, I also look up to you with all these intimate events. Paano ba yung approach mo when it comes to this route? Kasi it's a little different from doing hosting on TV or on cam. This one, kasi you have to engage everybody in the event. So how do you do about this?
Well, in my case, the funny thing is I'm actually terrified of public speaking. I am the kind of person who would get cramps while reciting in class. So I never thought that I'd end up doing this as a career, but I do love singing, acting, and performing in general, despite being an introvert. So for me, it's kind of hard to engage the audience when I started out because I'm an introvert. I'm not used to being in front of so many people speaking to them. When I'm singing, it's different. I just concentrate on the song. If I'm acting, I just concentrate on the acting. But when it comes to hosting, you're actually speaking to the people. So it's kind of hard. But over the years, you would get used to it and you would learn while on the job, basically.
That's right. And nakita naman natin, with all the different events, even concerts. And now I have Max, you do directing as well, diba?
Yes,
So,
I do events directing. Yes, not TV
yes.
directing.
yes, events and TV is a different thing.
Two
No? Pag
different
events,
things.
kumbaga, yeah, you have your director to really make the event as a whole with all those, with everything that's happening. And we definitely know that. And nakaka-miss, tama ba?
Oo nga eh, sobra. The adrenaline, all the mishaps backstage, those are
All the
actually
running.
scary, pero nakakamiss talaga.
Nakaka-miss, and we hope that things can get better maybe in the coming months or years para
I doubt it.
eventually real talk pala to.
I doubt it.
Pandemic era na talaga.
But
For now.
ang nakakaano kasi with the pandemic, no, we all say that the things that had happened before the pandemic is the pre-pandemic. So parang, but of course, there's nothing else we can do but to cope up with all the change that's happening right now. So with
True.
that, let's lead into our second topic for today. Ayan. So guys, introduction pa lang yon. Na-meet nyo pa lang ang ating mga speakers and guests for today. So now we'll be talking about using hosting to influence. This is the voice and the power that we have as a host. So now I think for Sir Chinkee, for Ate Val, you currently have your own respective shows on TV. So which is also broadcasted online, sabi natin, quad media, no? Ang daming platforms, depende kung saan nanonood yung inyong audience. What do you think is the importance of this profession when we are in the time that places so much value on using one's voice to provide timely and accurate information? So anybody can go first.
Ladies first.
Okay, sige. Di ba seniority?
Ay, naku walang ganunan ha.
Walang
Uy,
ganunan.
pahulaan nga natin sa mga attendees natin. Uy, pwede mag-chat. Pwede ba sila mag-chat?
Pwede naman po.
Let's just say hi naman siguro to everyone. Please type in where are you from. We just want to say hi and then how old are you? Ayan, si Pep Serrano from Caloocan.
Oh, it's Pep.
Si Margaret, si Kimberly. Tapos si Janelle. Thank you. From Antipolo. Tapos si Jen, si Shaina. Thank you so much for joining. Okay?
We have 13 of you tonight.
Yes, hi.
Princess is 18 lang and she's from Cavite and she's joining us.
Batiin nyo naman yung mga iba.
Wow, Zambales.
Alam nyo, mahirap talaga na puro host, no? Lahat maraming sinasabi.
Okay.
Mas masaya, at least.
Val.
Sige, I'll go ahead, Kasi di ba parang when you start pursuing your dream, ang inisip mo is your dream, di ba? Inisip mo, you have this dream, you have this goal. But when you're in it already, na-realize mo there's a bigger purpose for it eh. So yung medium, yung chance na opportunity na binigay sa'yo, yung platform, you wanna use it for the good. So for example, with our show, with my current show named, promote na rin ako, iHeartPH on CNN Philippines. So collaborative siya with me and the producers, the team. So we want to create segments that will inspire, that will bring hope, that is anchored in the truth. So kumbaga, may responsibility ka. And I think that responsibility is not only for us hosts on cam, but also for everyone because everyone has a voice. You don't need to be on TV to have a voice. You have your voice on your Instagram. You have your voice on your social media. Everyone has the power to influence. So use it wisely.
Yeah. Tama si Valerie, I would just add to that. Actually, being on camera is actually a privilege. For me, I count it as a privilege. Why? Because not everyone's granted that opportunity. Grabe talaga. At saka kung malaman mo lang kung paano ako dumaan sa butas din ng karayom, I can still remember yung earlier ko pa. I used to also be part of WKC. Di ba? 93.9. Wala, di pa kayo buhay lahat noon. 93.9, the number one FM station during the 80s. Okay, and yun nga, WKC. And I was a co-host of a show by Rudolph Rivera. And my job there was only to say, yo. Oh, that's only my line. I was called Mr. Yo. Oo, grabe Max, yun lang. Biyahe ako, tapos doon, ano lang, kasi yun nga, it's a privilege no, to be part. And then, again, the second opportunity was at DZMM when I was with Carl Balita, also sa Radyo Negosyo. So, hindi lahat nabibigyan ng opportunity. Kaya nga ako talagang sobrang akong blessed, grateful and thankful that yun nga TV5 yun nga with the leadership of Manny V. Pangilinan granted us the opportunity and me the opportunity to be part of their program for almost 11 years already ever since they started. So talagang kaya po yung mga aspiring host diyan, kung mabigyan kayo ng opportunity, sana naman wag niyong sayangin. Na kanyari, 'di ba? May mga iba kasi I don't know kung may namimit kayo nung dating walang gig, 'di ba? Nagreklamo, nako walang gig. 'Di ba? Walang trabaho. Tapos maraming gig. Ito naman reklamo. Grabe, ang dami kong trabaho. 'Di ba? Nakakabaliw kayo. Nung wala kayong trabaho, nagko-complain kayo. Nung may trabaho kayo, nagko-complain pa rin. Yun.
I really love the sound effects, though. Thanks for that.
Wala akong pinapatamaan.
Can I add lang? Can I add lang sa sinabi ni Sir Chinkee? Kasi parang, when I was younger kasi, parang may tama yung sinabi ni Sir Chinkee. When I was younger kasi parang may sense of entitlement na parang I pursued this, I deserve this. But now that I'm older, it's so humbling. Like I'm so grateful every job
Grabe,
I get.
diba?
Most especially sa pandemic. Parang may trabaho pa tayo. Parang kinikilabutan ako. I'm so grateful. Like I will never take this job for granted. So
Totoo.
I hope ganun din for the aspiring hosts.
And then yun nga, one last siguro idea, when I was interviewed for DZMM, alam niyo naman DZMM, is the number 1 AM station by si Peter Musngi, si Peter Rabbit. Ito yung sinabi sa akin na hindi ko makalimutan. Sana tumatak sa inyo. Sabi niya, Chinkee, sabihin ko sa inyo, sige, ganito. Okay, we want to invite you, we want you to be part, pero ito tatandaan mo. Ang radyo ay hindi panakip butas. Kasi radio doesn't really pay well in terms of fee. But it's a commitment. It's not because that you have a gig and then all you need to do is just drop your program and then go with the gig. Kung ganun yung attitude mo, wag ka na mag-radyo. Yan hindi ko talaga makalimutan.
Oh, thank you for sharing those. And parang gusto ko ring mag-chika, no? Pero parang ako pala yung moderator. Hindi pala pwede mag-share.
Host ka din eh. Host ka din, pwede ka mag-share.
Uy, ito may challenge May challenge dito si Benjit ba? Oh. Tatsia uhaw.
Max, ikaw na bahala dyan.
Hindi ko nababasa. Wala akong nakikita ng comments. Sa akin, bakit ba?
Naka-mobile phone ata si Ahia Max.
Yeah, I'm using a mobile phone.
大家下午好，我目前几乎在马尼拉参加和观看。
观看 yeah.
So he joined us. So probably he's currently in Manila and joining us tonight or today.
Yeah, enjoying the show.
Yes, Kwan Kan is like enjoying what's happening. Watching, yes. Siguro ako what I wanted to add with what Ati Val have shared and Sir Chinkee was the opportunity that we have. Like ako personally, I started hosting for Shopee. Promote na din, 99. Happy 99 to everybody. So I started hosting for Shopee Live 2019 and even up until now, 2021 na. I'm still hosting for Shopee and I'm so grateful kasi imagine, there are so many people asking me how I started hosting for Shopee. Sabi ko, nag-audition ako 2019, hindi pa kasi pandemic. So now, nung nag-start yung pandemic, parang siya talaga yung quote-unquote bumuhay. Alam mo yon? Kasi even nung March and April 2020, that's the peak. All the events technically talaga wala. Even the shoots. So parang si Shopee lang yung nag-keep going. So we do Shopee Live from our home. So yeah, basically gano'n, no? If you have that opportunity, just grab it and just do your best. Kasi lahat nagbabago, ang daming magagaling. And you just have to be relevant as the time goes by. Ayun. But now we jump into another topic which is hosting live events naman. This is for Janina and Max. So for hosting live events is somehow different from TV, as we say your audience is in the same room with you. So maybe you can share with all the audience here, how do you make that connection? Especially kapag yung audience, hindi mo naman talaga kilala, paano mo sila na-warm up at kumbaga, nag-get into involved about what's happening around in the venue or the event. So anyone can go first.
Well, when it comes to TV, definitely Janina will have more experience than me. So Janina, go right ahead.
The difference of TV and events in terms of engaging people. So
Yes.
for events kasi, ako kasi extrovert. So para sa akin, masaya na ng events. Although, as you heard from my intro, I did start with TV muna. And paano ba? TV kasi iba talaga siya. Depende on the format. It depends on the format if it's more like they really want your lines verbatim. That's for another like, and I'm grateful for St. Jude for all the memorization skills. And I'm like, okay, this is working. Okay, so isa yon. So you gotta know what your format is. But personally now, like for our recent one also, parang wala na kaming mga spiels na talagang very formal. I love it more that it's more reality based and it's really like a conversation. So it's more of you just really have to enunciate, modulate, and of course have that kind of stage presence, TV presence if you may. And you can get better by practicing with any craft. You can just start maybe, trying and practicing being more eloquent so you don't grasp for words when you feel like, may clutch word ka. I've gone through that also. Oh my gosh. And even hosting, I started hosting for events naman. I got an opportunity to do so. I was still in high school, I think. Tapos, grabe. Oh my gosh, can I just share? Na sobrang laki na ng difference. As in before, magre-require ako ng co-host. Kasi parang may kabatuhan ako at kung nagkamali, parang saluhin mo ako. Ngayon naman, parang I prefer, hindi naman I also like co-hosts, pero now I'm more confident na rin. Kahit
You can manage na.
I can manage na. Tapos minsan nga prefer pa. Pero okay na, para mabilis na. Pero tayo lang yan No, tapos, parang yung budget sa akin lahat. Alam ni Chinkee yan, di ba?
May point!
Yun pala yun.
No holds barred.
Paano ba, di ba? Package deal yan eh. Kaya rin ako nag-content creating para package, di ba? So, that's for another time. But in terms of like events then, syempre, same goes, modulate. Dapat malakas yung boses, very, you command that presence. Because as the MC, Master of Ceremonies, you're there, you're the only bridge of the audience with whatever's happening. So you're responsible. But also with that, all the more you have to do your homework. So if you see me backstage, I literally am like this. Daming notes. Pero before, sobrang dami. Kapal talaga. Ngayon, bullet points na lang, konting highlights, konting encircles. I have my own, parang, I know what works for me visually. And it really helps to write stuff in a cue card. And then to a point, like, I would challenge myself na sige, try natin i-memorize. Or not even memorize, just understand it. So, alam ni Max yan, di ba? Nag-Chinese pa, lahat na. So, you have to really know what's happening by heart. And with that, you have to keep questioning the higher sayo or whoever's briefing you. Like, that's very crucial. The briefing. You have to know everything. And mahirap na may loss in translation kasi sino ang magmumukhang tanga? Ikaw.
Yeah, because you're in front of everyone. You're the one facing the audience.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, who are they gonna blame to? Ikaw din. Parang, why didn't you ask? Why didn't you clarify? Diba?
Right.
And, with events, oh my gosh, everything can go wrong.
Yeah.
There was one time I had to stall
yeah, true.
Richard Juan for a Chinese New Year event sa Lucky Chinatown Mall. Grabe, we stalled for 30 minutes. Can you believe?
Grabe.
Nag-happy birthday na kami sa lahat ng celebrants. Parang lahat ng kayang pigain, hindi na. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi yung bayad ng singer, wala pa. Yung usapan daw, dapat may check na. Oh, diba, guys? Well, that's, yun yung usapan nila. So, again, iba pang araw yun. Yung mga contracts and being professional, being on time. Dami, guys. kahit 1 week tayo mag-check out.
Totoo. Ang daming pwedeng ma-share, no? Kasi iba-iba talaga yung experience and a lot of us have really went into those, yung mga hindi mo ina-expect na talagang nangyayari siya in events. Max, go!
Yun. When I am hosting on cam, I'm not as concerned about the audience's reaction, well, immediate reaction, as I would when I'm doing live events. But don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean, I'm not saying that we are allowed to do a lousy job on cam. Pero in live events kasi, I need to feed off the audience's energy. And if they are not responding to you, then you're not doing your job as effectively as you should. But in reality, I don't think there is any formula. I don't think there is such thing as a formula that works. Because I always believe that pro audience, whether virtual, must trust you enough to connect with you. So maybe the best advice I could give to your max. So kita yun. Alam ng tao if you're just faking it or if you're sincere in doing what you're doing. So feeling ko yun one of the most important things in a live event. Pero sa online, ganun din naman eh. Especially, di ba, kitang-kita ng tao ng mga reactions mo, facial expressions mo. And if you're fake, people will see that you're fake. Di ba? And doon pa lang, magkakaroon na ng barrier. Di ba? Pero alam mo, like sabi nga ni Janeena, di ba? Sa St. Jude, maraming memorization. Sa amin din marami sa St. Stephen's. Pero I never learned how to memorize. Sobrang hit na hit ko yun. If we have like clients who would, yun na nga, di ba, would request you, hindi pala request, demand you to say the things verbatim, yun ang pinakamahirap for me because it's really hard for me to memorize words that are not mine. Yun, actually, mahirap talaga yun. So it depends din on the people who are going into this craft. Ano ba ang strength mo? So you should know what your strength, what your weaknesses are, di ba? For you to know anong media, what kind of media are you supposed to go into?
Totoo yun. Totoo yun.
Para pala
kasi
itong
di ba,
SWOT analysis, no?
Kasi at the end of the day, if you're hosting, you really have to have that connection to the audience. Dapat ma-engage mo sila eh. Bakit pa nagkaroon ng host if hindi na achieve yung goal na yon, di ba?
Yeah, siguro Max, can I add lang yung yung
Go
parang
ahead.
siguro parang pre-COVID yung sa talks, yung mga live events, I average around 250 speaking engagements per year.
Wow.
And one thing I've learned from the master, from Francis Kong, sabi niya, Chinkee, your talk will end and start and will die and will make it on the first 1 minute of when you step up on stage. On the first minute, yan ang sinabi niya sa akin na hindi ko talaga makalimutan, guys. Pag hindi ka nakakonect sa audience, hindi ka naka-engage, hindi mo na mapatawa o wala na. So talagang yung guys, that's only probably one tip that I can give to you. Kaya nga yung first na pasok ko parate, very importante yun.
Yeah.
Diba, Valerie?
Impact.
Yes. Sana meron tayong masterclass kay Sir Chinkee, no?
Ay, hindi na.
Oh, yeah.
Hosting masterclass. I would love that.
Kay Francis dapat.
Ang galing, no? Looking into your comments, guys, parang iba-iba din kasi each one of us has our own branding, I would say. So, different style of hosting, different technique that works for us. So, maybe to all the audience out there, tama si Max, no? Sometimes there are projects or hosting engagements that will require you to memorize, to really say the lines verbatim. Yung iba naman will require you to stretch, to ad-lib, to work around, bibigyan ka na lang ng bullet points. So maybe you can look into what works for you. Ako din, I just want to share my experience. Aside from Shopee, I host for Shop TV as well. For Shop TV naman, no prompters, zero prompters. So we just basically memorize the whole script and we do ad-lib. So parang kailangan work hand in hand siya eh. Parang may memorization of all the details of the products. What are you waiting for? You can dial the numbers on your screen right now. Mga
Yan nga yung,
ganon.
Mary Grace,
Wow.
yan nga yung magandang training eh. Yung wala kang, yung magme-memorize ka.
Yeah.
Diba? Para pag next time na meron ng script, nako, super dali na yan for you.
And vlogging is kind of like hosting too. So parang ganon, you're literally just, sharing what you have to share from your own words.
Well, actually, for my case, for Shop TV, kasi we have a product eh. So let's say this lapel microphone. So the technical side are the things that you have to memorize.
Yeah.
But those
You can't make that up.
Oo, tama.
Di ba pwede ipauso yun? Parang i-adlib ko kaya yung technical specs nitong lapel na to.
So, ayun, ang dami nating chika. Sorry, naloko na
Mamaya,
ako, no?
7 p.m. na. Di pa tayo tapos.
Pero at 5 p.m., we still have another topic to talk about. But to wrap up the second topic about using our voice as an influence, especially during this time of pandemic na hindi natin alam kung kailan matatapos, how do you guys grow your craft? How do you keep those fire in you burning?
Siguro,
Go ahead.
I'll start it off yung regards to that. Siguro, syempre, if I would add probably the age of Valerie and Janeena, that will be my age. Hulaan nyo. Sige nga, Max, hulaan mo.
Nako.
我几岁了？现在几岁了？
Let the audience do it.
Oh, ayun, you can ask
Do you know why I cannot guess Sir Chinkee?
Why? Nagpe-freeze ba si Max o ako?
Because di ba sabi mo nga kanina, di ba? Ayan. Am I still freezing?
No.
You're back, welcome.
So like what Sir Chinkee said kanina, no? Baka hindi na namin naabutan yung times ng 87, 80 plus something. Actually, naabutan ko yun. So hindi ko pwedeng hulaan.
Ayaw mo, mami. Ito. May mga nagsabi ni Pep 25, Faye 45.
Grabe naman yung 25.
Oo, Margaret. Grabe ka naman. Minsan lang pasayahin mo naman ako. Ano ba kayo? Gine-guess nyo na nga ako dito. Wala na nga bayad eh. Tapos maglalaritin ko pa ako.
Diba, sabi naman ni Pep, looking 25.
Looking 25.
Projecting.
Actually, sige nga, Janeena, hulaan mo ilang taon ako.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, I won't feel offended.
Mom, help me. What's the answer? I think.
Careful with your answers.
Reveal ko.
Yeah.
Age reveal.
57岁.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm turning 57 this year.
You don't look 57.
Yeah, I look 60. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, parang nasa 40s.
Because the industry keeps you young also. And isa-segue na niya sa 5.
Yeah, actually, that's the reason why I believe, number one, you never stop learning. Yun nga, sinabi niya na yan. Up to this very day, every day I listen to a podcast. Every day. I will never miss one day without learning. That's number one. And number two, whenever I go to the public, no, yung parang minsan sobra akong humbled. Lalo sa airport, never fails, no. Mga 8 to 10 people will come to me and then magpapapicture. Tapos, sir, pwede pa-picture? Bakit? Sir, kasi ikaw si Michael V, di ba, sir? Kung hindi ako Michael V, ako naman daw si Herbert Bautista. Ano ba yan? Joke lang. Well, anyway, and then my staff, yung parang assistant ko, and then one time told me, sir, talagang kilala ka na. Alam mo, sinabi ko sa kanya, I appreciate people coming to me to have a photo taken, but I don't allow it to get inside my mind. O parang kasi the moment you acknowledge na kilala ka na, that is the day, that's the start of your downfall. Kasi yung parang parang philosophy ko sa buhay, once a fruit is already ripe, the next stage, it will be rotten. Mm-hmm. That's the second. And the third thing that really, parang puts my feet on the ground, is, parang, nanggaling kasi ako sa wala eh. I've experienced talaga hardships. nuts, 'di ba? Yung dati wala eh. Inabutan ko yung uling. Inabutan ko yung plancha sa uling. Inabutan ko talaga yung ano talaga. There's a process, 'di ba? But unlike right now, sobrang bilis na lahat. Everything's technology. So, yung hunger for success, yung ever since no nag-start ako nung age 12, at that hunger for success and drive up to this very day at 57 is still very prevalent and present. And I hope that you don't miss that out na yun nga sana yung parang kahit anong success na naabutan nyo o inabutan nyo, don't allow it to get into your head. Sayang eh. Sayang yung pinaghirapan nyo. Yun.
Love it.
The end.
On top
Tapos
of
na.
that,
Tapos na yung...
humility.
Pero totoo yun it's something that is often overlooked, yung humility, because people think that, okay, I'm successful in my craft, I'm successful in my careers, okay na, di ba? Pero parang, sometimes kasi nga, like, it gets into your head, so you really have to consciously take it out of your head. Sa totoo lang, di ba? But like, pero yun na nga, in the case of Sir Chinkee kasi, may backstory siya eh. Di ba? He came from hardship talaga. In my case kasi, we also came from very humble beginnings. It's just that me being the youngest amongst 8 siblings, I was sheltered. I was protected from that. So when it was happening, I didn't know na it was happening. I only knew about it when I was an adult already. So yun eh. If you know your backstory, kung saan ka nang galing, yun yung dapat mag-ground nga sa'yo eh, like what Sir Chinkee said. Diba? But that's not to say naman that if you started off na well-off ka, diba? You have the license na to be, mayabang or whatever, to be complacent, diba? Because at the end of the day, if you love your craft, you do anything for that craft. Diba? You'd learn, you do anything that would, preserve that craft for you.
Galing.
Pwede ba ako magdagdag? Ayun, kasi I think what's common among the 5 of us is our passion passion and love for the craft talaga eh. It's so evident. True. It's so evident from the start. From bata pa tayo, nandyan na, up until now, up until ang daming hardships na dumadaan. Parang we never, I don't know kasi your own stories, pero it seems like we never gave up. Diba? I'm sure nakikita nyo kami ngayon. We have our shows, ganyan-ganyan, but you don't know the stories behind it. We had rejections. Personally, I had a show na nasa studio ako today. Tomorrow, tinanggal ako sa studio. May mga ganun stories that people do not know. But we remained here because we love what we do. And there's gratitude na we still have jobs. Diba? Parang ganun. Janina, you.
Yeah. Go ahead. Someone was gonna add. Yeah?
No. I was just about to say na parang we persevered, basically.
Yes. Up until now, we still persevere.
Yeah.
We still do it.
Exactly. And I think for me, what keeps me going also, as everyone has mentioned, we love it. And also, we are grateful for it. Sometimes, especially now that days feel heavier than usual because of the tone of the times. But I've also been doing my daily devotionals, which have been making me so much more, chill. Trust lang tayo kay Lord. Everything will work out fine as long as, our intentions are good. And for me, I stumbled upon this kind of like you don't have to. So the mentality of shifting your mindset from it being a job period, because maybe I don't know what the intentions are of people here, maybe just for, let's not say just, of course it's great if you make it a career, but it's not just that. It's so much more to it, because you don't really just have to, but you get to. So that's the term there. It's an opportunity, as everyone, that's the recurring theme, the gratitude mindset, the opportunity mindset, and just owning the gift. And actually, Val and I we had Bell's palsy before, and I just want to kind of remind you that everyone is susceptible to that, dahil sa pagod or sa overthinking, sa stress, lahat na. Yung akala mo ang healthy mo pero hindi pala talaga. When I lost half of my face, like I thought I wouldn't be able to. Well, it was just a short thought, because I was like, no, gagaling ako. But
Mm.
nakakatakot thinking na, oh my gosh, this is my bread and butter, hosting on cam. I also do
Yeah.
modeling work and, you know, the arte girl in me, I also do content. So I take pictures for a living also. And that was just such a scary thing na baka mawala yung lahat. Diba? So just being alive, fully alive, just having, you know, just being healthy, period, is already such a blessing. So please never take it for granted. Before, all I wanted to do was do a full smile. As in, gano'n ako, parang broken doll. Tapos mahina rin, hinang-hina rin ako. Feeling ko my essence was stripped away from me. Like, my friends would call me Jolly Janina, Miss Pure Energy, kasi nga extrovert. But I do have like an introverted side. Baka naman isipin niya, super ingay ko all the time. Na-energize lang ako kapag may friends more. Pero yun, parang feeling ko talagang natanggal yung si Janina na this is me, like where am I? Parang sobrang hinang-hina talaga ako. So please never take it for granted. Everything, your skills, your talents, yung mga akala nyong doubts na parang hindi ko kaya. Parang sobrang daming mas magaling pa sa akin. You know, everyone has their moment and there's room for everyone to grow. We're all hosts here. We're all in the same field here. But that doesn't stop us from, you know, from living, from serving, and also service. That's like the key goal there too. It's what you can contribute. Let's not come into this with an entitled, you know, mindset na, bigyan niyo ako ng project, bigyan niyo ako ng TF. Diba? Pero syempre, di ko naman sabihin na magpa-ape kayo. It's all about balancing, diba? You know, know your worth. It's service, so make sure hindi ka nare-rip off, but also give your best and celebrate each project, each moment, each opportunity you can serve.
Mary Grace, can I add lang to what Janina mentioned?
Go ahead.
Yung, siguro to encapsulate lang what she mentioned, no? Always remember this, guys. What you don't use, you will lose. God has given you that gift, that talent. If you take it for granted, you know what He will do? He will take it away from you and entrust it with another person. Saka minsan, tsaka ka maghahabol. Diba? May mga iba kasi nagko-complain, sobra na akong pagod, dami kong racket. O sige, di tanggal na. Nung tanggal na, ba't wala akong racket? Ang gulo mo kausap. And then number 2, siguro para sa atin na rin lahat, no, Val, Janina, Mary, and Max, and the people who's watching. Please, ito lang, don't fall into this trap. Siguro, ito siguro yung pwede kong i-share sa inyo as the most senior among all of you. Stop comparing yourself with others. There are only 2 negative things that will happen if you start comparing yourself with others. Number 1, you'll be proud because you're better off, you're way ahead of others. Number 2, you'll be sad and disappointed because others are way ahead of you. At the end of the day, you just need to ask yourself, did you do your best? Let's say you did your best, but your best wasn't good enough. So here we are back where we were before, since nothing else changes. Ayun na. Ayun na.
All about the quality of your hearts then, diba? Huwag tayong magdidiba.
Ano lang I'll really quickly lang, I'll pluck out the topic of stress lang from what Janina said earlier, no? Because we have to be real here. We have to let the listeners also know that yung stress talaga, this work is kind of stressful. It's not like what you see, happy lang, ganun lang. It's actually a stressful job. So you have to be ready when you get to it. I mean, when you get into it, you have to be ready psychologically, emotionally, physically. You have to be ready for that. On TV, nagsasalita lang naman siya eh. It's not as easy as that. So you have to be ready for it.
It takes so much energy.
Diba? So we have to be, we have to,
magme-makeup ka, bawal oily, pero dapat nag-glow ka.
Tsaka sobra kang pagod after kasi all your energy is there, di ba? So parang after parang
nakaka-drain talaga. So you have to know that if you want to go into this kind of work.
Especially kapag hybrid, last lang. Kasi, di ba, we were talking about like the events and then TV, yung iba both. Like yung mga projects. Like, I know you also, maybe you saw the meme of Olivia Culpo trying to concentrate and then people misinterpreted that. Maybe because theater people tayo, marami sa atin nakapag-theater. So parang okay, nothing is wrong. Pero actually, di ba, ang daming mga nag-cue sa atin na, di ba? So, iba po yun. You have to master that, not being distracted, not looking like something's wrong. Oh my gosh. Tapos yung energy, pag sobrang ingay, di ba? You have to concentrate. So many layers and factors.
Minsan visual cues lang nga di ba?
Yes.
Hindi mo na kasi naririnig kung ano yung gusto sabihin sa'yo.
Yeah.
Actually, lahat ng mga naririnig ko ngayon, ang dami pa nating pwedeng ma-share no, sa ating audience. But to wrap things up, I would say siguro yung sinabi ni Sir Chinkee na don't compare yourself to others. And also even us, we are also hosts in the same industry. We do hosting on cam, on TV, for events. But we basically don't treat each other as a competition. Kung may competition man, I would say it's a healthy competition for you to keep going to do better. Actually, minsan nga pasahan niya ng racket Parang, wala, in my perspective kasi, available ka ba? Tapos, kasi something happened in my schedule and of course, you don't wanna, in this industry, hindi ka pwedeng parang, oo, tapos hindi agad unless it's really very urgent, diba? It's being professional. So if you have somebody you can lean on, tapos eventually kapag may kailangan din siya, tulungan lang, kumbaga. So, to just lift each other up, I would say. At sa mga, actually, no, yung ating last topic to be discussed is lesson learnings and advices. But I think with all the things that you guys have already shared, na-top na natin yung topic na yon. And also, coming in from the word racket, for us here and for most people who do this as their bread and butter, this is not just basically a racket, but also a career for us. Ito na yung bumubuhay sa amin for... Yes, Adi Bao, you want to say something?
Yeah. Sana wag natin siyang tawaging racket because parang it's more, it's not a racket. It's not a racket. Yeah. It's a profession. It's a skill. Diba? Medyo na ano ko na racket kasi parang medyo na ano ko kasi parang we develop this skill for so many years. Yes. Diba? And we're professional. We go on time. We do our homework. So parang there's respect for our colleagues as well.
Yeah. Yung OR talaga, nandun tayo sa OR.
Parang may hugot sa OR.
Yung content in OR, content creation, di ba?
But yes, yung baga parang career na, it's a life for us, especially for everybody who's, I've been doing it for like 10 years pa lang, pero sila, they've been doing it longer than me. And parang isipin ko, 10 years na pala, 2011 to 2021, and there's still so much to learn. Siguro just to wrap things up, maybe you guys can give your 1 to 2 liners to everybody who's watching. Ano yung pinaka-best advice or one thing that you wanna leave before we wrap up the webinar?
Gusto ko malaman kung sino yung pinakabata siguro. Yung pinakabata.
Si Mary Grace.
I'm 26.
Si Mary Grace. Si Mary Grace. Diba? Showing si Mary Grace.
27 si Janeena.
Di na ako.
Tama, diba? Okay, go, Sir Chinkee.
Akong pinakabata. Siguro, ito na lang, for aspiring mga communicators, whether in TV, radio, social media, books, yun nga, sumulat din pala ako ng libro. Nakalimutan ko. Grabe talaga, no? Again, yung comparison, guard your heart every day. Guard your heart. If you want to compare yourself, sinabi ko never compare yourself with others. But you can compare yourself. Number 1, compare yourself with yourself. Compare yourself from last year to this year. Did you improve? If you did, job well done. Diba? Dapat ang sense of comparison mo sa sarili mo. And the second is, if you want to compare yourself with people who are less fortunate than you. Diba? Yung, nagrereklamo ka, grabe. Kailan matatapos tong ano na ito? Hindi ako bakasyon. Diba? Sobra na akong stress. Wow, laki ng problema mo, bakasyon. Ang problema ng ibang tao.
Yeah.
Walang makain. Diba? Diba? Yung parang, wala na akong mapanood sa Netflix. Alam mo, ang problema ng ibang tao, nasa COVID yung magulang nila. Tapos wala silang pambayad ng bills. Kaya nga, if you feel bad today, I encourage you, just look at more yung mga less fortunate people than you. You will feel better. Yun.
Thank you, Sir Chinkee. How about you, Ate Val?
I saw this, yung si Conan O'Brien, he had a speech kasi. He gave a speech to graduating students. And I will never forget yung sinabi niya. So simple lang, sinabi niya, be kind, work hard, and amazing things will happen. And in this industry kasi, I feel that's a reason why we're still here, we're still working, is that nag-create kami ng good relationships with our colleagues. Kasi sobrang liit ng industry eh. 'Di ba yung katrabaho mo ngayon, after 5 years, si Mary Grace kunin natin, nakatrabaho ko siya before, reliable siya. Tapos manganganak siya ng manganganak, like what others said. So be kind, work hard, do your assignment, and trust in the process, amazing things will happen.
Love it.
Wala lang. Janina.
Okay. For me, before I share my favorite quotes, because I'm a quote girl, baka malimutan ko yung train of thought. So guys, always have fun. That's one for me. Enjoy the process. Trust it and enjoy it. Because I also do content, and sometimes I get I'm an ex-perfectionist, because that doesn't exist, right? And even perfection is different for other people. It's like, diba, what's perfect for you is not perfect for this guy, and diba, alam nyo na yan. So just enjoy and know na, you're not like anyone else, and chill. Relax. Kasi marami sa atin sobrang overthinking. Yun din, may nakita ko dito, assuming. I also read this quote or this line na, assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. So never assume. Sometimes it can be as simple as a typo, and then your day is ruined. Yun pala typo lang. Nagka-miscommunication lang kayo, diba? So always innovate also. Like for me, I didn't think na, aside from hosting as my bread and butter, but content creation has also become my bread and butter, making content and also making videos professionally, and always be open. Like I didn't know na magkaka-opportunity ako to have my online column also, which for me, hanggang ngayon kinikilig pa rin ako kahit alam ko online lang yun. Nakakatawa yung kapitbahay ko. Sabi ko, yeah, tita, ganon. Yung typical kapitbahay. Yeah, tita, yeah, I have a column now. Sabi niya, oh, where is it? It's online. Oh. Grabe siya. Do not try yung kasi ibang generation. Siyempre, mas appreciate nila yung publish sa hard copy, diba? Ano pa ba? And ito na yung quotes ko. The grass is greener where you water it. So just keep on planting your life.
Galing.
Keep on flourishing it. That's by Neil Barringham. Ano pa ba? And when you're at the crossroads, look for the cross on the road. Because I have also had my indecisive moments. Sometimes you get paralyzed by it, which sucks. Diba? Parang, oh my gosh, you keep overthinking, and then all your energy is wasted because you don't know what to do. Ito ba gagawin ko? Ito ba gagawin ko? Diba? Dapat ba o hindi? So always think, saan ba ang mas makakabuti? Hindi lang para sa'yo, pero with everybody involved. Yun. At magpakatotoo ka. Wow, ganon. Yun. Just always be sincere and genuine. As Val says, everything is connected. Again, like now, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the people who trusted me, and because of the good relationships, the genuine relationships we planted. Yun.
Thank you, Janina. How about you, Max?
Okay, so if Janeena ended with quotes, no, ako naman, I'd like to start with a quote. The grass is greener at the yard of Janeena because they water the garden. No, I'm kidding. To our viewers, of course, for me, I would say choose the right avenue for you, Muna. You have to know which media you prefer, whether it's live, online, or TV. And we are currently in the middle of this global crisis. And one thing I learned is life is too short. So if you really want to do it, go for it. Do it. But you have to invest in your craft by learning. So if you want to do this, you have to make sure you know what you're doing before you go into it and learn. It is a continuous process. Obviously, hindi naman lahat ng tao magagaling sa public speaking. But if that's what you want, maybe you should learn first, diba? You could perhaps join workshops, online classes, webinars like this one right now. That said, I'd like to commend Chinoy TV for coming up with this webinar for the benefit of those who are still trying to discover the power of their voices. Because this webinar is really for the people, for you guys who are deciding or siguro contemplating on jumping into this sort of career. So again, just go for it.
Gusto ko yung for the people. Bobotohin kita, Max.
Please. 2022, barangay captain.
Yeah, Max Tiu, there you go. Thank you so much, guys, for all those thoughts, for all those insights. Actually, kulang talaga ang 1.5 hours para sa ating lahat, no? And for sure, everybody also enjoyed and learned so much from today's discussion. And I also want to share a quote before I wrap up everything. At pwede ba akong mag-request isang group picture with you guys before I let you go? Ito siguro yung nababasa ko now on my phone is, don't compare your progress with that of others. We all need our own time to travel our own distance. So that's it. Thank you so much once again to all our speakers for today. We have Mr. Chinkee Tan, Miss Valerie Tan, Miss Janeena Chan, and Mr. Max Tiu. So there you go. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. A round of virtual applause para sa ating mga speakers. So for thank you. Yes, thank you so much for lending your voice today to share your thoughts on what it's like and what it takes to be a podcaster, to be a host, to be on cam, and everything in between of hosting and doing things in this industry. And once again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us in this afternoon. This has been your host, Mary Grace Koo. Thank you for joining us in the power of our voice, making a choice on the road less travel. This is a series presented by Chinoy Podcast Network and Chinoy TV in partnership with our sponsors. Thank you so much to NBT, Geneto PH, Fruit in Bloom, Alliance of Filipino Chinese Students, Ateneo Celadon, De La Salle University Management of Financial Institution Association, Rotary Club of Chinatown, Manila, St. Jude Catholic School Student Council, University of Santo Tomas Scarlett Central, University of Santo Tomas Scarlett Accountancy. Muli po, maraming salamat. And thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. And always stay safe. This has been MG, and see you all again next time.
Hey there, welcome to Rise Up with Janeena Chan. I'm Janeena, host and content creator, always curious to learn more from life. This podcast is one for the mind, heart, body, and soul as we share stories from real lives that draw inspiration, provide strength, and empower each other to rise up.
And I realized after that, okay, if politics is a game that leaders play, I need to learn the rules so that one day the people can win.
As soon as your body adapts, as soon as your body builds a system of habits, it'll get much easier. And the days where you don't feel like doing it, it actually becomes automatic. That's one thing that I've learned.
Hi there, I'm Mish, host of Mishconceptions, the podcast that talks about the common struggles of modern-day millennials and Gen Zs as we all navigate through college, enter the real world, and build our careers.
Really something that we have to face, and I think that's where growth comes from.
Yes.
Because you start to question yourself, and then you start to know yourself more, diba?
Don't forget to give time for yourself, kasi that's really the most important thing that you as a person have to.
Ito, I know it's easier said than done, but kailangan natin matutunan how to protect our rest and recovery practices intensely.
Welcome to Daddy Academy, the DIY podcast for dads. This podcast is for longtime dads, working dads, soon-to-be dads, and all the kind of dads who are just eager to hear about each other's stories, learn from each other, and relate to one another.
I think the most memorable struggle that I had was marrying my wife because not the way you think.
Kompletuhin mo yung sentence niya kasi
Yes.
So I was literally teacher, nanny, entertainer, everything you can think of. Everything basically what a mom does. Diba? I was mom.